Okay, so I am delighted to introduce Amy Clark, who is the co-founder of SeniorList.com, a website providing information to older adults and caregivers about products, services, and resources. Amy started SeniorList.com with her husband in about 2005 or so. It has become a thriving community and a trusted resource that helps over 100,000 seniors and caregivers every year. Amy has a degree in social work from the University of Montana. Before starting the Senior List, Amy worked as a long-term care ombudsman and also worked in skilled nursing facilities for several years. She also started her own company specializing in geriatric care management and senior housing advising. Today, she will be discussing senior discounts, how to find out about them, and how to take advantage of them. You've earned them, so you might as well get the benefit. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Amy. If you have questions along the way, feel free to enter them in the chat, but we won't get to them until the end unless they're pressing immediate questions. But then at the end, please feel free to raise your questions, turn on your camera, or raise your hand any way that you would like for us to recognize you. Thank you so much. And again, I'm turning it over to Amy Clark.
Thank you, Sheila, and hello, everyone. Can't wait to see your faces at the end. It's kind of hard to just speak to a picture of myself, but I'll give it a shot. So as Sheila mentioned, my background is in social work. I've worked with older adults for over the last 20 years. And my husband and I started this website, as Sheila mentioned, and really it just started out because we noticed at that time, there really wasn't any good resources for older adults about resources that were out there. There was a lot of misinformation online. It was very salesy. And I thought at the time, I have all this experience as a social worker. I understand a lot of the programs that are out there. I wanted to share that with a broader group of people. And fast forward to today, like Sheila said, we serve a lot of people. So it's my privilege and honor, and I'm so grateful that you tuned in today. Hopefully the information that I have is helpful, but it may also be things that you already know. So you'll have to give me some feedback at the end and let me know if this was helpful for you. So during the early years of building the website, one of the things that we started doing was collecting a list of senior discounts. And it really started out just as a list of senior discounts we noticed here in our local community. And then other people started chiming in, and it's just grown over time. The lists are constantly changing. They're constantly being updated. We get a lot of feedback from people. That senior discount's no longer available, or here's a new one I found. So I'll tell you how to get to those later in the material. But the lists have grown, and they're not perfect. But they're a very good place to start if you are looking to save some money. Just like we evolve as people, the lists evolve over time as well. So as I mentioned, one of my favorite things about our discount list is that people are very interactive with the lists. So if you go and you check them out, you will notice if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there are so many comments from people. We try to weed out, comments that aren't helpful or have nothing to do with the topic of senior discounts, but people contribute by adding their own voice to our lists all the time, which is really fun. So I'd like to start off with some frequently asked questions that I get about senior discounts, and then we'll kind of dive into some of the nitty-gritty. So one of the biggest questions I get is, how do you know if a business offers a senior discount? As you may know, businesses aren't necessarily advertising if they have senior discounts. It's not like you walk up to the counter and there's a big sign that says, be sure to ask about our senior discounts. So really, it just comes down to the very basic piece that you have to ask for a senior discount. And I know that that can seem to some people intimidating, or, why should I have to ask for something? But there's a lot of unclaimed discounts out there because people simply aren't asking for them. So I encourage you, I give you the power, the strength to ask for senior discounts. And as I've been saying for a really long time, the more people that are asking for discounts, even if a business doesn't offer senior discounts, the gentle prodding that they're going to get because people are asking about them, may turn on a light bulb for that business and say, well, hey, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea if I offered a senior discount, or if I offered some way of thanking, my honored people that are coming in to support my business. So ask, don't be afraid to ask. And as Sheila mentioned at the beginning, you absolutely deserve them just for simply being around and shopping at these businesses. So don't be afraid to ask. One of the other very frequent questions that we get, and this generally has to do with franchise businesses like fast food chains. People will say, so, I got a discount at, I'm just going to use McDonald's as an example. I got a discount at McDonald's, and then I went to the other McDonald's that's on the other side of town, and they didn't give me my discount. What's up with that? Well, the reality is that businesses, unless there's some sort of corporate policy stating that they need to offer a senior discount, or they have a specific day, many businesses that are part of a franchise, they're going to set their own discount policies. So it can be very difficult. It's one of the problems we've run into with trying to track senior discounts. And I know other sites like ours who have had the same problem, is that they can change and vary so widely. So don't be discouraged if you find it somewhere and then you don't find it somewhere else. Another question we get is, how old do I have to be to get a senior discount? The great part is I've seen discounts offered for people as low as 50 years old, which to me is not old in any fashion. But more generally, I would say the more common age is anywhere from 60 to 65. I have seen some as high as 70. But that's quite a broad, that's 20-year difference. That's quite a broad range of ages to ask, or to offer senior discounts. So again, it just doesn't hurt to ask. The other point I wanted to make about age, my local grocery store has a senior discount day, and it's one of my favorite days to shop because I have a lot of older friends in our community, and it's just one of the places I get to see a lot of people that I know. I've never seen anyone being carded on senior discount day. So if you have any sort of trepidation about going on a senior discount day, I think the chances of someone asking for ID are quite low. So there's that. One thing to know, and I'm sure this comes as no surprise to anyone, but discount programs can change with very little notice. You may remember a couple years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, actually, that Kroger, I don't know if you have Kroger's area, Sheila, in your area. Okay, so this may not apply, but Kroger, which is a pretty large grocery store chain, got rid of their senior discount, and people were very upset, understandably. And Kroger said that instead of a discount, that they were going to switch to using a points and rewards card. So, whether that all comes out in the wash and it's all the same, it may not necessarily matter. But the idea that a store would get rid of, something that so many people really valued, I think it was shocking to me. And I do think it was shocking to a lot of customers. We had a lot of feedback from people on the site saying, I'll never shop there again. I don't feel like I'm being valued and honored. But just know that it can happen, and it can happen very quickly. It can happen without notice. So where can we find all these senior discounts? So obviously on our site, we publish lists of senior discounts. We have one big, huge list, and then we also have lists that are broken down into smaller categories. And as we talked about earlier, Sheila, I will make sure to send notes with specific links. But if you go to the seniorlist.com, at the very top, there's a link called Money. And underneath that link, I think there's 3 different categories, but senior discounts is one of those. So if you click on senior discounts, that will open up to the big list. So again, give us some grace. We know they're not always 100% accurate. They're constantly changing. But again, the comments that people send us at the bottom are very helpful. Those do help us, shape and retool and research new discounts and get rid of ones that are no longer available. Another website that I really like is called savings.com. They seem to be one of the more reputable and accurate websites. They have a couple of different ways that they can help you save money. I've seen coupons on there. I've seen discount lists. But it's one of the few that has seemed to have withstood the test of time and seems to be pretty accurate in their offerings. And another site, and I have to disclose, it's one of our sister sites, seniorliving.org. I noticed just recently that they redid their list and it is awesome. They did a really nice job. It's very thorough, has lots of little extra tidbits and tips for saving money. So I would check that out as well. Probably not new information for anyone who's watching, but joining a senior membership organization can also be a huge cost savings. Like AARP, of course, I think is the biggest and the most well-known senior membership organization, but there are other AARP alternatives like AMAC, ASA is another one. And again, I'll include links to those, but they each kind of have their own membership savings programs. One thing I do advise is if you don't belong to one of those organizations and you don't want to, if you notice that a business is advertising that offers, an AARP membership, even if you don't belong to AARP or a similar organization, it's still okay to say, I don't belong to AARP, but I'm an older adult and, can you extend that discount to myself as well? Again, don't be afraid to ask. There are some smartphone apps out there for senior discounts. Personally, I've tested several of them out. Many of them make you pay. I personally just haven't seen anything yet that I've been really impressed with. And some of them, they come and go very quickly. I don't know that there's a lot of effort being given to these apps. If you know of one, if you ever find one and you really like it, you think it's accurate, I think they're most useful if they're accurate at a local level, not necessarily at a national level. Please let me know. You can reach me through the senior list. We have a contact form on the site, but it's kind of one of my dreams. Like I would love to find an app that, if we're all carrying around smartphones, that it would at least let us know if we're in a particular store, oh, here's a notification, they're offering a senior discount today, or, whatever the case may be. So, but thus far, not much luck in the smartphone app department. There are a lot of different types of businesses that offer senior discounts. I think, for most of us, I think the most common category of business that we think of offering discounts is fast food. And I think that's probably because it's been around the longest, but there are a lot of different aspects of the places that we spend our money that are important to think about for senior discounts. So I'm going to run through a list of different types of businesses. And I hope that as I'm doing that, you'll think, oh yeah, I just went there yesterday. I didn't even think about asking for a senior discount. So, fast food obviously is a good one. Supermarkets, as I mentioned, my local supermarket has a senior shopping day on a certain day of the week. And I think they offer 10%, which, initially doesn't sound like a lot, but boy, if I could take 10% off of my weekly shopping bill, it's a significant amount of money. Oh, and I see someone just mentioned Harris Teeter. Yes, they also have a senior discount day. Yeah. And I know everyone is all in the Arlington area, but if you're traveling, if you're out shopping for groceries, it's kind of like it's detective work for your wallet. It's worth looking these things up if you know you're going to be somewhere, if you're on vacation, if you're traveling to see family, to see where you can find these discounts. Restaurants, whether it's fine dining or quick in and out, it's always beneficial to ask for senior discounts. Many restaurants, as I'm sure you're aware, have a senior menu, which will be at food at discounted prices and maybe smaller portions. But I just don't think it hurts to also ask if they have any sort of senior discount. Apparel and department stores, for example, Kohl's has a senior discount day, but I know of many smaller chains, even independent retail businesses for clothing and household items that also offer senior discounts. Travel, we may or may not be doing much of that right now, just depending on where you're at. But think car rentals, which again may not be happening right now since car rentals seem so hard to come by at the moment. Hotels, airlines, tours, excursions. These are all businesses that are offering senior discounts. Again, maybe not in this moment of post-ish COVID, but pre-COVID in normal times, these were businesses that were all offering senior discounts. At least you could find a hotel that was offering a senior discount, maybe not all of them. Movie theaters. I've seen senior discounts in both large movie theater chains like AMC. I've also seen it in my local independent movie theaters here in my area. So again, just doesn't hurt to ask. I think for AMC, and this is off the top of my head, I believe they have a certain day of the week that they offer a discount. Veterinarians. I noticed that my veterinarian has a senior discount. And as I was doing some research for my presentation today, I started seeing other people saying, yes, my veterinarian has a senior discount, which if you're pet owners, you're well aware of some of the huge costs those little buggers can incur. Hardware stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, even Ace Hardware, and again, your local hardware store, all either have some form of senior discount or senior discount day, or I've also noticed, I believe it was Home Depot has a price match guarantee, which is essentially the same as is what they're calling their senior discount. You are all so fortunate to live in an area that has all of these things. I'm very jealous, by the way. Theaters, attractions, sporting events, museums, many, in fact, when I Googled senior discounts in Arlington, like the first 5 things I saw were all for some of your local museums and variety of attractions that you have there. So, again, if you're going out with family, people coming to visit, these are all places to make sure that you ask if you can get a senior discount. College courses, if anyone is thinking about taking some courses for fun, going back to school, be sure to ask if you can get a break on your tuition. And the last category I have here is cell phone plans. There are several carriers, T-Mobile, Verizon, Consumer Cellular, who all have a senior specific cell phone plan. Some of them are only available in certain areas, but it is well worth researching cell phone plan discounts. I will also include this, Sheila, but we have a list on our site of all the different cell phone plans and try to really break down the costs. And if they have a senior specific feature, what that looks like, and what we thought of it, and all that good stuff. I mentioned earlier Googling, looking up senior discounts. So if you just Googled senior discounts, I mean, you would get a lot of results, but a lot of them may not necessarily apply to your specific area. So what I recommend is to, in a Google search, enter senior discounts, Arlington, Virginia, to be more specific about it, so that the results that you're finding online are very specific to where you are. So whether you're traveling, whether you're looking for things around where you live, you need to be pretty specific about that. Also, if you know that you're going to spend money at a certain business, I would Google that specific business, that retailer's name, the location, and then the word senior discounts. If you can't find anything, if all else fails, it doesn't hurt to pick up the phone, give them a call, and ask them if they have any sort of senior discount program. And if they don't, why not? Okay, so people ask me, after I've done, senior discount research for all this time, what my favorite senior discounts are. My ultimate favorite, and my husband's a little older than I, and I can't wait until he turns 62, because then we will be able to purchase a senior pass. So this used to be known as the Golden Age Passport, and it used to be $10 for lifetime access to, national parks and all these amazing places across the US. If you have a Golden Age Passport, they still work. I hope that you use it as much as you can. But now it's called the Senior Pass. It costs $80. You have to be 62 years or older, and you have to have actually turned 62 to apply for this. They don't let you do it early, just as an FYI. So again, that gives you access to, I think it's over 2,000 different recreation sites across the US. I don't know if you've visited any national parks recently, but two national parks a year, and you've got this thing paid for. So I think it's an incredible value for those of you who like to travel, who like to get out and see the just most amazing places in our country. Amtrak, for those of you who are 65 or better, Amtrak offers a 10% discount on many of its trains and many of its different routes. So not all the routes and not all the trains, but it can still be a significant value, especially if you're looking to do, something long, something across country. It could save quite a bit of money. The last one, and I don't mean to plug any specific store or chain, I just think this is such a good value. Walgreens and Rite Aid, they have, and it's specific days of the month, so I would research this ahead of time, but they offer a 20 to 30% discount depending on the item for older adults on certain days of the month. And I don't know about you, but I could do some significant damage in a Walgreens or a Rite Aid because they offer, so many things, households, pharmacy, even some groceries I've noticed. So I just think it's a business that has done a really good job of honoring the people who shop there. But again, something to research for your local Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS. I won't speak to CVS because I haven't researched that one in a while. So again, it doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to look these things up. In addition to senior discounts, there's also, and I know that there are many of you in the area that you live in, for veterans and retired military personnel. If a business doesn't offer a senior discount, maybe they're calling it, a veteran's discount. So again, be sure to ask if you're the spouse of a veteran or the widow of a veteran. It's a discount that I think, again, isn't widely advertised, but many businesses do honor people with those types of discounts. and I think I already used this line, but think about finding senior discounts as detective work because it really is. It's a little bit of sleuthing and research and a lot of asking. But once you find some good discounts and once you find something that you really enjoy, reward that business by telling your friends about it and let that business know that you appreciate the discount because they are sometimes hard to come by. But it does come with a little bit of work to find the good ones. So I went through all of that really fast, Sheila. If you are interested in hearing more about the things I have to say, I think one of the best things I can offer is a newsletter. We have a newsletter at the Senior List. We don't spam you. We do not sell your information. We don't share it with anybody else, but I do put out newsletters. If I come across a discount that I think is amazing, I'll put those in there. I also, in fact, the last newsletter that I put out, I talked about some of the newer scams that are out there. I mean, there's always new scams and, they're everywhere. But every time I see something that I think is informative and helpful, those are the kinds of things that I'm putting in our newsletters. So if you're so inclined, feel free to sign up for the newsletter on our website.
That was fabulous, really fabulous, Amy. I appreciate it. We have several people who've entered some comments in the chat already. We have very knowledgeable people here in Arlington, and they're eager to help others with the information they have. We have somebody noting that Giant had stopped their, which is a major shopping chain here, stopped their senior discount day a number of months ago. Mention Harris Teeter, discounts on the internet, and Walgreens, first Tuesday of the month has 20% off. I just wanted to throw in something that I didn't mention in the beginning, and that is while you're discussing senior discounts, seniorlist.com is, to me, it sounds like it's Consumer Reports for older adults. Mm-hmm. You do reviews of different products and services specialized for older adults and have the reviews on your website done by experts. So you might want to mention that as well.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. That's my job, and I should have.
I didn't mention I'm sorry.
That. No, it's okay. We do. And just to speak a little bit to that, one of the first categories of products that we started testing, and again, this was years ago, are medical alert systems. As you probably know, there's some really good ones and there are some really not so good ones. And there's less today, but back during that time, there was some incredibly predatory practices that were happening within that industry. And people were just getting taken advantage of, unable to get out of these long-term contracts. They were getting equipment that didn't work. I mean, it was just, it was like the Wild West, and that has changed. I mean, I feel so, I'm so happy to have seen in the last 10 years that industry has really changed, but we did our homework and we researched and tested most of the products that were out there. There were some we just didn't, because you could just tell they're not good for older adults. So yes, if people are interested in what we think about those types of products, we do a lot of testing. We have a YouTube channel, and I've started doing some videos where I do some hands-on testing, especially if some of the newer equipment that's out there. There's some incredible technology now in medical alert systems. It's actually kind of an exciting time. They're finally changing after 40 years of not changing at all. So anyways, thank you, Sheila, for that. Yeah.
And we have another person offering that Ross, which is largely clothing, but other household items as well, has a discount every Tuesday, 10%. I was asked to share your website again. It's seniorlist.com. It's a great resource. Someone else is asking for the website address. And there's no space between senior and list, so one word.
Yeah, one word, and you can use the word the in front of senior or leave it off. It doesn't matter. It all goes to the same place.
That's great. Thank you. It looks to me like a tremendous resource for people to get their bearings on products and services and discounts and anything, really. With that, I think maybe we can open it up to questions and answers. Please feel free to turn on your video if you'd like to ask a question, or raise your hand in the Zoom function or anything so we know you have a question. We'll answer to anything. Valerie has offered that there are great senior discounts for moviegoers at Cinema Arts Theater in the Fair City Mall shopping center all day Wednesday. Seniors get the lowest rate for all shows all day, and the morning rate only for the rest of the week. So Cinema Arts Theater has a great discount. Okay, any other questions or comments? Other discounts you know of? Bob, I see your hand up. Thank you. But you are on mute, so please unmute yourself. There you go.
Technical difficulties over here or a glitch. Simple question is on internet. I feel like I'm paying an arm and a leg for basically basic internet that can stream programs or my computer can function over. Anybody offering a discount on that?
That's a great question. The research that I've done for internet, it seems like there are programs out there, I believe. And again, I'll include a link to my list to Sheila. I believe there are programs out there for people who are on assistance programs. I'm not sure what those are. For the general public, I would say just call them, see if there's any sort of discount. If there are other internet providers in your area, I would certainly do some price shopping. I know in my own family, my husband does call them about once a year and just say, look, I feel like this is a lot. Do you have any sort of discount you can give me for 6 months? Sometimes they seem to be running specials. I don't think it hurts to call and ask. I know this isn't internet, but cable specifically, you're probably aware there are a lot of different cord cutting type solutions out there. We personally, in my own family, we got rid of cable and we just pay for YouTube TV, and that seems to have plenty of options for us. We don't need thousands of cable channels. I know that's not what you're asking about, but it made me think of that. But again, I will include the links that I found, the research that I've done on cable to Sheila so that she can share that with everybody.
That would be fabulous. Thank you. Donna has something in the chat that she signed up at CVS and they give 10, 20, or 30% discounts through email that they send. And she saved a lot there. Thanks, Donna.
That's great.
Okay. Again, if you have a question, either please enter it in the chat or turn on your video, raise your hand in the Zoom function, because I want to make sure we get all the questions answered.
I thought I'd offer to the gentleman who's looking for discounted internet access plans to check out rcn.com. rcn.com. They actually have a local office just down while Lee Highway has been renamed, but
Langston Boulevard.
Langston Boulevard, thank you. And Broad Street, they actually have an office, but if you go to rcn.com, you'd probably be surprised at the discounts they have for a local high-speed internet provider. So that's just a tip because the gentleman asked about that, and I will go back and hide.
Anybody else want to be brave and turn on their video, ask a question? or put it in the chat, or use the Zoom function to raise your hand, anything. Just may take me a while to see you because there's so many of you. No? Really? You know everything about discounts? Wow. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Bahar is letting us know that Senior Services of Alexandria provides a card and a list of senior discounts in Alexandria. Okay. So some of us don't live in Arlington. They live in the nearby surrounding areas like Alexandria. So if you're not a resident of Arlington, there you go. If you're a resident of Alexandria, there's a card you can use. There's all kinds of discounted transportation like taxi services and things in Arlington, including a discount to come to the 55 plus centers in Arlington for discounted, like I think it's like $2.50. Here's a great question from Kendall. How about discounts for seniors at gyms?
Yeah, that's another great, I should have added that to the list. There's the Silver Sneakers program, which is part of a Medicare benefit that many gyms participate in. If that's not available to you, I think it's another great area to ask for senior discount at gym and fitness centers.
Anybody else? If I can't see you, then please unmute yourself and speak up because I'm having to go through two screens of you. There's so many. Okay, we have Sam has put in the chat, the website for discounted internet services, rcn.com. Of course, we're not endorsing anything. We're just throwing out tips and suggestions. But you may want to look at that. Anybody else with a question? Oh, Mort, thanks for an interesting program. Great. Thanks for participating. Silver Sneakers from Sheila Yankovic. Silver Sneakers is free with your MCR supplement free gym.
Probably Medicare supplement.
Oh, Medicare, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Arlington Parks and Rec, yay, 55 plus pass gives discounts at county gyms. Well, we have the fees for using the gyms are extremely low. So yeah, I don't think you could beat the prices that we charge for exercise classes or gym membership or the one-on-one personal training services that are offered by the county. I don't think anybody could offer anything anywhere close to what Arlington County offers. Anybody else? Going once, twice. Medicare, yes, Medicare. Thanks, Sheila. Yes, Amy figured that out. I couldn't figure out MCR, but Amy figured it out. Thank you, Amy. Okay, anybody else with a question? Okay, well, I guess that's about it. Thank you very much, Amy, for this really interesting program. We've all learned a lot, and we look forward to seeing the notes. I will see about about the recording. If anyone asks for the recording, is it okay if I send it to them? Okay with you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And okay, thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you found this helpful and interesting, and would mention again that the website has all kinds of really helpful information in addition to discounts. But these discounts are yours. You're entitled to them. You've earned them. Don't feel funny asking for them. They're yours. there for you to benefit from. If you take away one thing from this. Carol is offering the National Park Pass is free for people with disabilities. I guess it's $80 for most older adults, but if you have disabilities, it's free. Good to know.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Okay, thank you all so very much for joining up. Quivermont Winery gives military and family member discounts. Arlington residents are extremely knowledgeable, very engaged, and they know their stuff. I'm always impressed with them, always impressed. Thank you all for sharing these important discounts. We appreciate it. Thank you for sharing part of your afternoon with us. And thank you, Amy, again, for a really interesting and informative session. We appreciate it.